It has been such a weird change of pace this week, just sitting on this couch basically and moving back and forth between the kitchen, the bathroom, and the living room. This morning, my parents did me a massive favor. They had an appointment down in town and at the same time took my truck in to get the front suspension, tires, and wheels on. Tara is having quite the grumpy morning. And ultimately ended up saving me a ton of time and labor that I'm just not able to do right now. So they're in town getting that done this morning and are going to try to vlog the experience. So we'll see how that all turns out, but I'm really excited to see what they come up with for the video. And then later this afternoon, I have an appointment that I don't think I'm going to share too much on right now, but it's regarding some major, well, to me it feels like major changes I'm making to take better care of myself. It has to do with just trying to live more intentionally and in sync with my body instead of working against it. So I'm nervous because this is the first time I will be doing something like this in quite a long time, but I think ultimately it will serve me well. Anyways, that's kind of cryptic for me to not actually share what's going on. The girls know, the guys, you probably won't care anyways, so stay tuned, I guess, to see what that's all about. I just popped the sourdough in the oven, so I think that by mid-afternoon, I maybe can make a sandwich or something fun with that. This sourdough has been over a week in the making. My starter took about 6 days to be ready to use in the bread, and unfortunately, if you guys follow me over on Instagram, you saw that my first starter was baked unintentionally. I was letting it proof in the oven, which is totally my bad. I didn't put a note or anything. And when my mom went to preheat the oven to make dinner one night, it cooked the starter. So this is round 2, but I'm hopeful. It looks super fluffy and airy, and I'm really excited to try the bread. So the flavor of the sourdough, impeccable. It's well salted, because my last loaf that I made, I had to add salt to every piece because it tasted like raw dough. The crust is really nice. I don't know if you guys can see like the edge. I thought it burnt at first, but it's actually perfect in my opinion. And it tastes great with some marionberry jam. So I'm really happy with how this turned out for my first sourdough loaf. It's kind of dense and I do wish it would have rose more, but there are still, and I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but there are still like holes and air gaps in here. So it did rise. I ended up proofing it overnight, which was well longer than it said it needed to be done, but I think it needed it, definitely needed it. And I'd say overall this was much more successful than my last Dutch oven bread that I made at camp in Yosemite. I just cannot believe the weather that we're having. I feel like most people are aware that California does not usually get that much rain, but it's probably rained 7 or 8 out of the last 10 days, making it pretty much impossible to do anything outside. This week has felt super slow. Obviously a big part of that is the fact that I can't walk around or do much. So I've pretty much been on this couch or in the kitchen getting myself food for like 5 days now. And as hard as it is to just sit here and to not be working on the camper, not be feeling productive or able to get my chores done or even do simple things a lot of times, it is a really great reminder of how lucky I am to do the things that I can do when my body parts are all working properly. It's also given me a great chance to start researching places I might want to go, hikes and trips that I might want to take in 2023. And I think I'm going to make a whole video on that later this month, just about planning, how I plan, where I'm planning to go, adventures that I want to go on, and just navigating that. It's definitely something that I've struggled with, making plans and like actually sticking to them. So when you're on the road, there are so many amazing opportunities to do spontaneous things that maybe weren't in your plans. And I don't want to remove that entirely, but I do think that having a little bit more structure, a little bit more organization to what I'm doing next year will actually allow me to feel more present in the places that I visit instead of just thinking about, well, where am I gonna go next? And what am I gonna do tomorrow or next week or next month? You know, what's the next event that I have planned? That can be super fun for a while, but it's also kind of stressful, I'm not gonna lie, because it just feels very untethered. And I needed that a little bit in my early travels when I was in the van and even in the bus. But I feel like now I have more of a sense of the things that I like to do and what I want to do still. I understand more my need for solitude versus being with people. And if I do a little bit more pre-planning, I think that I can just make 2023 work a little bit better for me. I'm excited to look into that. Yesterday after my appointment, my mom and I went and got some chocolate, some dark chocolate, and a big, massive candy cane that I think I'm going to be crushing up with some nuts and other things to make some assorted chocolates. Otherwise, it's just going to be a lot of laying low. I know these videos are a lot different than what I was making even like a week ago, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me and hope that you've been enjoying seeing just the more mundane, day-to-day type stuff. I hope the weather is better wherever you are and that you're able to get out and enjoy it today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.